So, guys, today we're going to cover the script on how to pivot into creative financing when a cash offer does not work. So, when you're not able to close your cash price, always end your calls with a valuable pivot. You're going to transition to a creative financing deal option, okay? And Juan Nicasio, who is our closer, he's our top-notch closer. He is been closing hundreds of thousands of deals already in real estate investing, and he is, we can consider him an expert in creative financing. He's going to show us how to run through the script, okay, that we're going to give you, and specifically detailed, go through it, use tonalities, use the way that you say it, intonate, like everything about tone, everything about your maybe body language or whatever it is you're saying, your vocality, everything. We're gonna cover through this. So, Juan, please, I want you to take over. We're going to share the screen. I'm gonna show you the script, okay, and then Juan is going to take over. All right, let's go right here. Juan, please tell us.
Awesome, awesome. So just remember, guys, this is a part of the script that you would use just so that you can pivot and be able to keep the fish on the hook. You don't want to lose them after you've given them the cash offer and be able to go ahead and create opportunities where otherwise you would kill the deal. Okay. This script is not meant for a one call close. It is specifically just built to keep the fish on the hook and be able to gather some additional information and open up for additional opportunity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to role play with Esteban as if I had a seller.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
All right. So yes, I'm following you. So Esteban, it doesn't sound like we're gonna be able to come to an agreement today, but what I would like to do is just take note at where you're at with the property and what you're looking to get for the property, and then I can go ahead and send this over to my underwriting department to see if this is something that we can come up with a creative solution and get exactly what you want or very close to it. Are you open to that?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Awesome. Great, great. So look, what would be your net number that you're looking to walk away with when you sell this property?
Like something that I want to walk away with, like the total amount, or
Yeah, so let's imagine it's closing day, right? And you're walking away with a check. What is the number on that check?
okay. I like to get out of this with at least maybe 8 to 10K.
Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, you do have a mortgage, right?
I do have a mortgage.
Okay. And so is this number already accounting for, paying off your mortgage, closing costs, commissions, and any other fees?
I have not done any of those. Like I haven't dig into that really. Uh, but but yeah, if that's possible, that will be something that I would like to do.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, Esteban, about how much is still left on the mortgage balance?
The mortgage still has about 100K.
Okay. And what is roughly your monthly payments?
My monthly payments, they're about 800, something like that.
Okay. And does that already include principal, interest, taxes, and insurance?
Um, I believe there is. I'm just doing a round number here, but I believe it includes the majority of it.
Okay. And are there any other monthly fees for this property outside of the monthly mortgage payments, like maybe like an HOA or second mortgage or any other fees like home warranties, etc., that you are responsible for on a fixed monthly expense?
Yeah, we definitely have HOAs, right? We have certain things that we have to pay around the community, and there's
Sure.
definitely some fees. Yes.
Got you. And how much is that HOA, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, it's about 150.
Okay, $150 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. And you would say that those are your fixed costs, is the 800 plus the 150?
Yeah, I would believe so.
Okay. Question, Esteban. If we would be able to pay your asking price or close to it, would you even consider selling your property on terms? Is that even an option?
Uh, can you please like explain to me a little bit how does that work? Like what's going on there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I had mentioned before, um, we may have to get creative in order to pay your asking price or close to it. And in some cases, in order to do so, we may ask to take over your current monthly payments. Is that even an option?
Okay, so you would be taking care of that. I will have to discuss that with my wife.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't imagine you making a decision without her. I mean, I'm married myself, so I know you got to run it through the boss lady. So, but
Absolutely.
basically, it's just another way that we do purchase properties. And my underwriting department, obviously, with the information you've given me, would be able to put something together to see if it makes sense. If you're open to that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, as long as you explain to us this, I mean, it looks like it's something new to me. I have not ever heard of that you can do that.
Yeah, that's fine. And my underwriting department, once they run their numbers, I'm gonna send them everything, right? And they're going to try to see if they can get as close as possible to what you're asking. Let's set up a callback time. What's the best time for me to call you back?
Um, maybe we can speak. Maybe we can speak tomorrow or later tomorrow in the evening. I may have to mention this to my wife, and she's not in this call right now.
I understand. Yeah. And when would you be available with your wife tomorrow? I would love to have the conversation with both of you.
I I believe she gets home and then she's gonna be available. I would say that around 6 p.m. plus.
Okay. So if I call you at 6 p.m., can you, I guess, confirm that you can speak with me at that time?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So if I call you after 6:30, you're not gonna ignore my call, right?
No, I'm not gonna try to ignore your call.
Awesome, awesome. No, I really appreciate it because I mean, I know that you're busy and I'm busy as well. We just want to make sure that we respect each other's time. But thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with me, giving me that information. Let's talk then. It was great talking to you.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. I'll be interested to see what you have to say tomorrow.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Esteban, and you have yourself a wonderful evening. Okay.
You too.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Sounds great. So, Juan, explain to us. I know that this is like a good case scenario, but explain to us, maybe kind of run through what was the whole intent here. I know you set an appointment and everything. You're kind of qualifying the person, right, for the creative finance side to kind of go ahead and show up the opportunity right there,
Right.
right?
Correct. So the whole intent here is just to number one, collect additional data and additional pain point. And number two, see if they're even open to this opportunity. Because if they say there's no way in God's green earth that I would do that, then we don't have that opportunity, right? We may have to get more creative and see what else we can offer to them. But if we can get through this and they can say, yes, you know what, that does sound interesting, now we have the fish on the hook and we can come back with some preliminary numbers and discuss what that looks like. I don't get too detailed in this script as far as how that works, how we are going to structure it, what the numbers are, any of that. This is all preliminary so that we have at least an opportunity.
Okay, sounds good. And so for those people that don't have an idea on how to potentially suggest is, what would you say the first thing that they have to take into account, mindset wise, or into the conversation, how to dive into asking the first question without letting yourself see like you have no idea what's going on? Because maybe you're not the creative finance experts. Maybe
Yep.
you're not going to give you all the technical you're not going to know everything technical, but you're going to potentially qualify this person. So how are you going to go on sound here first, or whenever you start the script?
Well, basically, that's why we put in that you're sending this over to the underwriting department, because now you are putting that responsibility of knowing the structure to another department that's an expert in that, right?
Hmm.
And so the way to approach it is, number one, after you got denied your cash offer, now you can go ahead and take your sales hat off. Okay, ease up, you breathe, and you get into just asking additional questions, asking permission to ask additional questions to see if we can get them to where they want to be, which is exactly their asking price, or very close to it, or figuring out exactly what it is that they need in order to go ahead and sell this property. So in reality, it's all about following the script, putting this responsibility of structuring deals to a different department, and knowing that they are going to get a call back, right? Does that make sense?
Sounds great.
Cool.
So here, I'm pretty sure that some people are gonna say no, right?
Yep.
And then you're gonna have the option of monetizing this as a listing, right? You're
Yep.
saying, hey, realtor will not be calling you, will not be calling you.
Right.
So please explain to us whenever they say no, this scenario.
A lot of times when you tell them that you're going to try to get close to their number, they already trigger in their minds that it's a real that you're going to go ahead and do a listing for them, right? Or have a realtor give them a call. And 9 times out of 10, they're trying to avoid the realtor as much as possible.
Right.
Unless we go through this entire exercise, I normally do not refer them to a realtor. I try to be creative as possible if they're open to it. And then if that's the last resort, then at least we know that we tried everything under the book before I send them over to a realtor that I can refer them to.
Okay. So in this first part, we are actually breaking down for them that no, this is not a realtor. We're not trying to actually do a listing.
Right.
I mean, if that's something that they want to do, for sure, right? But that's not the whole intention here, I believe so, right? So
Yeah.
that's where you actually make them see that. Okay,
Correct. Correct.
awesome. So how about this part? I know that you asked me like what is the net number that you're looking to walk away with, uh, and you also asked me like how much I want to walk away with in the terms of check, like what will be the number. So I guess some people will go and ask you, "Hey, I want the gross price of the property. Like I want the
Yeah.
120K, 150, 120, 200. You know what I mean?"
Yep. 9 times out of 10, they're going to go ahead and say, yes, I already told you I want $110,000. So the point here is to try to break down what that number looks like, because if they have a mortgage, right, and let's just say they owe 110 or 115,000, okay, and they tell you, yeah, I want to walk away with a check for 110,000. Hey, is that accounting for the closing costs, any fees, your mortgage payoff? Then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, well no, I mean obviously after I pay the mortgage and after I pay the closing costs and commissions, I'm probably gonna be walking away. I would like to at least with $10,000. So now we get to the real deal, where it's like, that's what I'm looking to carry in my pocket is this amount of dollars.
Yeah. So in my case, I kind of actually understood how much I wanted to walk away with,
Yep.
but a lot of sellers are not going to understand that. They're not sufficiently educated between the difference. So that's where you actually go ahead and clarify that.
Yep, that's correct. So that's the point of that particular question, is just to break down and again dig deeper and find the pain. They want $10,000, right? hey, do you need, then at that point, once you get more sophisticated with this type of structuring, now you're gonna say, hey, what are you gonna do with the 10,000? Is it to buy another property, pay off some debt, this, that, and the other? And I might be able to negotiate even the walkaway money. You see?
Okay. Yeah, and this question is really crucial. Whenever they say like a number and is, they give you their desired gross price, you got to be able to say, hey, is that accounting for all these closing costs, commission, and any fees? And they're gonna be like, whoa, 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 sorry. I think I see his point now, right?
Mhm. So same thing with the people that don't have a mortgage, right? They would tell, they're going to give you obviously larger numbers. They're going to tell you, yeah, I want $110,000. Well, I mean, if you listed the property on the market, would that be accounting for the closing costs, commissions, and any fees or repairs that you have to do to the property in order to sell it? Well, I mean, if you take that into consideration, well, it's probably going to be more like 105. The
Okay.
whole point is just trying to get the a real number out of these people and helping them realize that, hey, listen, you're asking for this gross desired number, and you may be unrealistic. Let's get down to the very bare bottom of what it is that you're looking to walk away with, so that the underwriters can see if we can even make this possible.
Sounds great. I like that. Underwriter. Okay.
That's it. Yep.
Um, so in this part, I know you asked me like, apart from this, I know you asked the question, are you considering about this stuff? So you're asking about how much left in the mortgage if they have a mortgage, right? And then you're also asking like, what's my monthly payments and stuff like this. This this information should absolutely be asked, correct? And
Yeah,
it's more
one
about active listening.
1000%. And just it's just more being casual when you're asking the question, because a lot of people are fearful of asking for this quote unquote personal information, even though you know anybody that uses any public information, MLS or PropStream or any of these things, sometimes you get the mortgage balance and payments and all this other stuff right there and then. Now this is just, you got to treat it. Obviously some people feel like it's personal, but if you use some vague question or general question, you're going to get pretty much what it is. So, let me ask you about how much is still left on the mortgage balance, right? Versus saying, how much do you owe?
Yeah.
So that's the difference between, you know, um, being so direct and getting into their personal space than saying about or on average, right? What is left on your mortgage balance?
Correct.
Right?
So
Approximately, what are your monthly payments?
there's absolutely two ways of asking: the wrong way and the right way. And
Correct.
one is going to give you friction, and people are going to be like, "Why are you asking me this stuff?" And the other way, and it's the same intent, but it's just
Right.
different ways of asking. So
Yeah. Very rare if you use these type of about, like how much and those type of things, round numbers, what do you believe? Those type of words, about 90 something percent of the time, they're gonna go ahead and give you the exact number or a roundabout number and give you some data that you're going to need in order to see if this even makes sense to do a creative deal, right? There are going to be a good amount of people that are going to tell you, I don't know why this is important. And all you have to do is just go back to say, like I had mentioned earlier, we may have to get creative in order to pay your asking price or close to it. The cash deal didn't work. And so therefore, we have many ways that we can purchase properties, and we may need to take over your monthly payments in order for us to go ahead and get close to your number, right?
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
so by knowing this information, now my underwriting department can work out some hard numbers and see if we can get that close to it. Because
Awesome.
you're already rejecting my cash offer, so I'm trying to help and I'm trying to get to that number, but I need some of this data.
Awesome.
Right.
Now, third question is basically you have to let it flow. Don't absolutely look like a robot or that
Right.
you're actually go ahead and reading a script. But the third question goes about the asking price. Like if we would pay for your asking price or very close to it, would you consider selling property on terms? Is that an option? That's when you're actually diving into the subject to uh, or
Yeah,
sell.
or owner finance. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So please explain to us these two things. What each one, point A or point B, is gonna lead us, and how do you determine which one we should use, depending on the questions that we had before.
Correct. So obviously, if you've done a great job from the very beginning of your sales funnel in asking the right questions, obviously you always ask, why you're selling, what's the bedroom and bathroom count, what's the square footage, what's the condition of the property. A lot of times I train my people to already ask for if there's a lien, violation, mortgages that we have to cover when we purchase the property in cash. So when I do that, I already get mortgage information, but there are some operators or companies that don't ask anything about the mortgage until they get to this point, right? So this is designed where either you already know if there's a mortgage, or you want to, or if you went through this script and you got the mortgage information. Obviously, if there's a mortgage involved and there's not a lot of equity in the property, okay, you're going to use the subject to portion where it is yes for mortgage, right? Well, like I had mentioned earlier, we may have to get creative in order to pay your asking price or close to it. In some cases, in order to do so, we may have to take over your current monthly payments. Is that even an option? Because you know that there is a mortgage in place and we want to acquire it with that same mortgage. We don't want to assume the mortgage. What we want to do, and it's specifically there, we may have to take over your current monthly payments. Nowhere does it say here, I'm going to assume your mortgage. It says we're going to take over your current monthly payments. Is that even an option? If there is no mortgage, right, and we know there's no mortgage, they told us there's no mortgage, well, then we're asking them to be the bank
Mhm.
per se, right? So that's the difference between A and B. One of them obviously has a mortgage in place, right? And we don't have enough equity to buy them in cash, or there is no mortgage in place. They still want almost close to top dollar, and but there's no margin for cash. Now we ask them if they would consider financing the property directly. So, sir, ma'am, would you consider, in other words, sir, ma'am, would you consider being my Wells Fargo?
There you go. And you
Is
asked
that
that
even?
question, right?
Yeah. A lot of times they say, "What do you mean?" Right? Well, basically, I'm asking you to be my Wells Fargo, and they chuckle, right? And I say, "Well, in this case, you end up, making more money than if you were to just sell it straight out cash, and there's additional benefits to that. Obviously, that's a little bit more ninja, but that once you get more sophisticated, like I said, there's going to be a lot more rebuttals and a lot more training for the seller finance.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So now you're going into the ending scene, right?
Yeah, at that
Uh,
point, once they say yes, I mean, just jump right into making the appointment. There's no need to have additional conversation.
no
This
need.
yeah, this option 4 is very, very ninja. I don't like to get too deep into this until I have like a mastery class with the clients, so they understand what this is. But basically, number 4, in a nutshell, is just creating a joint venture with the homeowner and yourself as the rehabber investor. They put up the property, we put up the work, and then we split profits or get them their net number, and anything above that number that they're asking, we keep plus get the rehab money back.
Okay, sounds great. So you know, these are just some questions that you would have to ask additionally if they are not 100%, um, they're not agreeing 100% on the appointment and saying,
Hmm.
yes, I could do that.
Right. Yeah, number four, like if you know the house is beat up and it's going to need a lot of work, but they still want like more money than your cash offer, and maybe they still do have a mortgage, but there's enough margin to potentially do the work, add the value, and then sell the property and pay them off, then this might be a good question to ask. But you have to know this prior to even getting into the strip. Like if you did your preliminary work before you gave them the cash offer, you know that the house is beat up, and you know that it needs the work, and you know that there's enough margin between what they're asking and what you can put into the property, and enough profits at the end, then you can go ahead and do this, right? Maybe it's just the numbers are too tight, and it's all about just structuring a joint venture with the homeowner. And there's some people that don't live in the property, and they say, yeah, you know, that sounds pretty cool because I really don't have the rehab money, and all I'm looking for is X amount of dollars. And if you can go ahead and sell it for more, not an issue. Just put in the work, and then you know, you take whatever is on top.
Got it. Nice. How many times would you say that sellers would go into this four or fifth question?
Typically when it is non-owner occupied.
No, 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 occupied. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to do the work on a property where they're living in it. Number one, they may want to fall in love with the property after we fix it. It'd be a headache to fix a property with them in it. So I try to do this only with like non-owner occupied.
Right. Yeah. If the owner is occupying the property, then it doesn't really work. I
It
mean,
doesn't unless they say no. I'm gonna go ahead and live with my sister. I already have another house or whatever. I'm gonna live in a hotel or whatever they want to do, but they're not gonna be in the house. Then you know, something that I would consider on an owner occupied, but that's, you know, every situation is gonna be different.
sounds good. I love how you're actually putting in the fifth question, the fifth stage. You're saying beautiful.
Right.
You're actually putting a little bit of harmony in the conversation. you know, and now
Yeah,
you're
because I'm excited. I'm excited that
yeah.
they're excited for that option, and so yeah, and then you're just putting it back to the underwriter. You ended the same way you started the conversation. You're putting it on somebody else like that. They're still on the hook, and they're waiting for this call to see what it is that you are going to provide to them.
Sounds good. Awesome. Now and then you're gonna go book an appointment. He's using either the CRM or whatever appointment tool that you're using for the closer. Correct.
Yeah.
What if you are the closer?
So if I'm the closer, then I'm just gonna go ahead and call them back after I run my numbers.
Got it. And there's no problem. There's no problem. You think about
No,
when you're sending the ball to the underwriting department. Everything you have to say is like, yeah, I spoke with my
that's
underwriting
it.
department. This is what
That's
we
it.
can do.
Yep,
Awesome.
this is exactly what they come back with. They said that if, you know, we are able to do X, Y, and Z at these terms with this time frame, this is what, you know, what the offer would be now. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
Awesome.
don't kill the messenger, right? But this is what the underwriter came up with. What do you know, do you believe that this is a, you know, fair deal? Can we go ahead and close this out? Can I go ahead and send you this contract now? Boom, get the deal done.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. Now, in the last page, in the second page, of course, you're saying, hey, you got to include this in Offers app, which would be Podio, right?
Yeah,
However,
for those that have that, I mean, this is you know, everybody's business is a little unique, but if you do have an underwriter or somebody that makes the decision, it has to go to that person. And what this does, it helps if it's truly an underwriter, right, or somebody that's higher up, right, that person, right, has to know what it is that they're trying to solve. What is the problem? What is it they're asking? What is their net number? You know, what is the mortgage information, so that the underwriter can do what we said we were going to do, send them over all the details that we've collected to see if and when they want to go ahead and sell, and how they want to sell, and if we can go ahead and structure the deal. That's what this is meant for.
okay, sounds good. So yeah, basically, this is what's going to be in notes. Make sure that you guys
Right.
write down notes of everything conversation happens.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, so make sure that that is something that you need to take into account. Always write down notes so that, so you have everything specific, and record the calls, guys. Always record the calls. Always record a call so you guys know exactly what's going on, how you're talking with the sellers, and exactly also what the seller said, so you don't miss anything. Um,
Absolutely.
do you think, Juan, that is that everything that we should cover, or is there anything else?
Yeah, no, this shit, you gotta keep it light, you gotta keep it very simple, right? And so you don't want to overwhelm whoever is intaking the information. It's just a very simple, your sales hat is off and you're getting information, you're getting the data, you're keeping people on the hook, and then we're gonna move into step number, I guess, 3 at that point, right? Because step number 1 is cash. Step number 2 is seeing if they will even be open to this. Step number 3, you put your sales hat back on and
Mhm.
you go for the close.
Mhm. Absolutely. So yeah, that's basically the script. That's exactly how you're going to take it. You're going to get familiar with that script. Make it conversational. Make it that you have to remember. Just remember and take a look at the structure of how you're going to pivot whenever a cash offer doesn't work, and you're going to be able to convert uh, motivated sellers that is not a cash offer into creative financing deals. And if you don't know how to structure it, Juan can help you. We can get you a coach. Ask a proper person, but we can also redirect you about structuring stuff. But Juan is gonna be the one that can definitely not only close for you for the final note, but will structure the deal.
Absolutely.
Sounds great. So Juan, man, thanks for being here, brother.
No, absolutely, bro. Just always trying to provide value and try to maximize what we pay so much for, which is marketing. It's the necessary beast in order to keep the operation going. So yeah, I it's a pleasure. And if anyone has any questions, obviously they know where to reach us, right?
Absolutely. All right, sounds great. Thank you guys and for watching this training. I'll see you in the next time.